The church doors burst open as Camille fled down the aisle, her white gown trailing like a ghost in the wind, leaving gasps and shattered expectations in her wake. "I can't do this," she screamed, her voice echoing off the stained glass windows, while her family's horrified faces blurred into a sea of judgment. But in that moment of chaos, her eyes locked onto Caroline's, her fiancé's sister, standing frozen in the pews, and a forbidden spark ignited that would unravel everything. Camille Thompson had always been the dutiful daughter in her conservative Texas family, transplanted to the fast-paced streets of New York City for what her parents called better opportunities. But those opportunities came with strings, thick, unyielding ones tied to tradition and expectation. At 28, she was a rising star in graphic design, her portfolio bursting with vibrant campaigns for Manhattan ad agencies. Yet, her personal life was a scripted drama directed by her folks back home, who viewed her independence as a temporary rebellion. The pressure started subtly with phone calls from her mother, Evelyn, laced with hints about settling down. Then came the outright demands. "We've arranged for you to meet James Harrington," her father, Robert, announced during a tense video call one rainy evening. James was the son of their old family friends, a successful investment banker from Boston, polished and predictable. "He's perfect for you, Camille. Stable, ambitious. Everything we want for our girl." The subtext was clear. Marry him or risk the family's disapproval, which in their world meant financial cutoffs and emotional exile. Camille resisted at first, her heart pounding with a mix of anger and fear. She wasn't ready for marriage, especially not to a man she barely knew. But the Harringtons were influential, and her parents saw it as a merger of legacies. James courted her with all the right moves. Dinners at upscale spots like Per Se, weekend getaways to the Hamptons. He was kind, handsome even, with a disarming smile that hid his own pressures from a demanding family. Yet something felt off, like wearing shoes that pinched just enough to remind you they weren't yours. It was at James's family estate in upstate New York where Camille first met Caroline. The Harringtons' annual summer barbecue was a lavish affair, with grills sizzling under string lights and laughter echoing across manicured lawns. Caroline, James's younger sister by 2 years, was 26 and a free spirit, a photographer capturing the raw beauty of urban life. She had wild blonde curls that framed her face like a halo, green eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a laugh that cut through the pretense like sunlight through fog. "Welcome to the madhouse," Caroline said, handing Camille a glass of iced tea spiked with mint. Her voice was warm, laced with a Boston accent softened by years in the city. They talked for hours that day, wandering the gardens away from the crowd. Caroline shared stories of her travels, hiking in the Rockies, protesting for LGBTQ rights in D.C., while Camille opened up about her dreams of starting her own design firm. For the first time in months, Camille felt seen, not as a pawn in a family game, but as herself. As the engagement loomed, pushed forward by both families, Camille found herself drawn to Caroline's orbit. They met for coffee in Brooklyn cafes, where Caroline's passion for art mirrored Camille's own. "You're more than this arranged nonsense," Caroline whispered one afternoon over lattes, her hand brushing Camille's in a way that sent shivers down her spine. It was innocent at first, a sisterly bond, but the undercurrent was electric, unspoken. The wedding planning amplified the tension. Evelyn flew in to micromanage every detail, from the floral arrangements to Camille's dress fittings. "This is your future, darling," she cooed, ignoring Camille's growing unease. James, too, seemed distant, buried in work, but Caroline was always there, offering escapes to Central Park picnics or late-night gallery openings. One evening, as they sat on a bench overlooking the reservoir, Caroline confessed, "I wish things were different for you. You deserve real love, not this scripted crap." Camille's heart raced. "What if I don't even want this kind of love?" she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Their eyes met, and in that gaze the world shifted. It was the beginning of something dangerous, beautiful, and utterly forbidden. But secrets have a way of festering. James noticed the closeness, dismissing it as sisterly affection. But Evelyn's sharp eyes caught the lingering touches. Whispers started, subtle warnings from family friends about inappropriate bonds. Camille pushed it down, burying her feelings under layers of denial. Yet, every stolen moment with Caroline chipped away at her resolve. The rehearsal dinner was the tipping point. Amid toasts and clinking glasses in a swanky Manhattan ballroom, Caroline pulled Camille aside into a quiet alcove. "I can't watch you go through with this," she said, tears glistening. "It's killing me." Camille's breath caught as Caroline leaned in, their lips brushing in a tentative kiss that tasted of desperation and truth. It was brief, electric, and world-altering. Pulling back, Camille whispered, "What are we doing?" But her heart knew, this was no fleeting crush. It was love, raw and unbidden, blooming in the shadows of expectation. As the night wore on, guilt gnawed at her. James deserved better. Her family would disown her. But Caroline's touch lingered, a promise of authenticity in a life of facades. The wedding day dawned bright and merciless, and as Camille stood at the altar, the weight crushed her. In that fateful moment she bolted, the church erupting in chaos. Now, hiding in a nearby cafe, phone buzzing with furious messages, Camille realized the storm had just begun. Her family would rage, James would be heartbroken, but Caroline, where was she in this mess? The answer came in a text. "Meet me at our spot. We need to talk." Camille's legs carried her through the bustling streets of Midtown Manhattan, her wedding dress hitched up to avoid the grime of sidewalks. Pedestrians stared, some snapping photos on their phones, but she didn't care. The Our Spot was a quiet bench in Bryant Park, where she and Caroline had shared so many confessions under the shade of London plane trees. Caroline was already there, pacing, her bridesmaid dress rumpled from the abrupt exit. "Camille!" she called, rushing forward. They embraced fiercely, the world fading to just the two of them. "What happened? Are you okay?" "I couldn't marry him," Camille sobbed, collapsing onto the bench. Not when I feel this way about you." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Caroline's eyes widened, then softened with a mix of relief and fear. "I've felt it too," Caroline admitted, sitting close. "From that first barbecue. But you're engaged to my brother. This is insane." They talked for hours as the sun dipped low, dissecting the mess. James was a good man, but their connection had always been platonic, forced by family ties. Caroline had her own secrets. A past relationship with a woman in college that she'd hidden from her conservative parents. The fallout was swift. James called, his voice broken. "How could you do this? In front of everyone?" Camille apologized profusely, but the damage was done. Her parents arrived the next day, storming her Brooklyn apartment with righteous fury. "You've humiliated us," Evelyn shrieked. "The Harringtons are devastated. And for what? Some whim." Robert was quieter but no less cutting. "We raised you better. Fix this or you're on your own." They cut her off financially, freezing joint accounts and canceling her credit cards. Camille's world shrank to her freelance gigs, scraping by in a city that devoured the unprepared. Caroline faced her own hell. James confronted her, piecing together the clues. "Is it you?" "My own sister," he accused, betrayal etching lines on his face. The Harrington family splintered, parents siding with James, demanding Caroline choose loyalty over this phase. She moved out, crashing on friends' couches, her photography business suffering from the distraction. Yet, amid the wreckage, their love deepened. Stolen dates and hidden gems like the High Line at dusk, where they walked hand in hand, sharing dreams. Caroline's lens captured Camille's essence, candid shots of her laughing in the rain, designing late into the night. "You're my muse," Caroline whispered during one intimate evening in a cozy Greenwich Village bistro. But drama lurked. Whispers from mutual friends turned to outright gossip. A former colleague of Camille's, jealous of her talent, leaked rumors online, painting her as a homewrecker. Social media exploded with judgmental posts. Arranged marriage gone wrong. Now she's with the sister? Family drama. Camille's clients hesitated, some pulling contracts. Caroline's ex, a woman named Mia from her college days, resurfaced, fueled by bitterness. Mia contacted James, spinning tales of Caroline's unreliability in relationships. "She's just using your fiancé to rebel," Mia texted him, igniting fresh wounds. James, hurt and angry, lashed out in a family group chat. "You've destroyed everything, Caroline. Stay away from her." The betrayal stung deepest when Evelyn reached out to Caroline directly. "You're poisoning my daughter," she accused in a venomous call. This isn't love, it's confusion. End it or I'll make sure everyone knows. Caroline hung up trembling, but the seed of doubt was planted. Camille and Caroline's first major fight erupted over it. Maybe they're right, Caroline said tearfully in Camille's tiny apartment. We're hurting too many people. James is my brother, how can I do this to him? Camille's heart shattered. So you're giving up? After everything? Words flew like daggers, accusations of cowardice and selfishness. Caroline stormed out, leaving Camille alone with her thoughts. Days blurred into a haze of regret. Camille threw herself into work, designing pro bono for LGBTQ nonprofits, finding solace in community. Caroline wandered the city, camera in hand, capturing stories of resilience. Protest marches in Washington Square, couples defying odds. Reconciliation came unexpectedly at a pride event in June. Amid rainbow flags and pulsating music, their paths crossed. Caroline spotted Camille volunteering at a booth, her face lit by determination. I was wrong, Caroline said, pulling her into a hug. This love is worth fighting for. James will heal, we all will. They rebuilt slowly, setting boundaries with families. James, after therapy sessions, began to understand. I want you both happy, he admitted in a tentative coffee meetup. It hurts, but I'll get there. As summer faded into fall, their bond solidified. Picnics in Prospect Park, road trips to the Adirondacks, moments of pure joy amid lingering scars. Camille's designs flourished, inspired by their story, while Caroline's photos gained acclaim in galleries. But shadows remained. Evelyn's silence was a weapon, and rumors persisted. A high-profile client backed out after hearing the gossip, testing Camille's resolve. We can't let them win, Caroline urged, her voice steady. In quiet evenings they shared vulnerabilities, Camille's fear of abandonment, Caroline's guilt over family rifts. Their love wasn't perfect, laced with drama, but it was real, a testament to choosing heart over heritage. Autumn in New York brought crisp air and changing leaves, mirroring the shifts in Camille and Caroline's lives. They moved in together, a cozy loft in Williamsburg filled with art supplies and shared dreams. Mornings started with coffee and kisses, evenings with debates over takeout, Italian or Thai. It felt like a fresh start, but the past wasn't done with them. The first major conflict arose from an unexpected source. Caroline's photography exhibit, titled Forbidden Frames. It featured subtle nods to their story, silhouettes of embracing figures against city backdrops. Critics raved, but James attended the opening, his presence a powder keg. This is about us, isn't it? He confronted Caroline afterward, eyes flashing. You're profiting off our pain? Caroline defended her art, but the argument spilled over. Camille, caught in the middle, tried mediating. It's healing for her, James. Can't you see that? But James stormed off, reigniting old wounds. That night, Caroline broke down. Maybe I should have kept it private. Am I selfish? Camille held her close. No, you're brave. We're building something new. Yet doubt crept in. Was their love strong enough to withstand constant scrutiny? Evelyn escalated the drama with a surprise visit. Knocking on their door one stormy afternoon, she stood dripping in the hallway, face etched with disapproval. I need to talk to my daughter, alone. Caroline excused herself politely, but tension crackled. Inside, Evelyn unleashed. This phase. It's destroying our family. James is a mess, and your father's health is suffering from the stress. She pulled out photos from happier times. Family holidays, Camille as a child. Remember who you are. End this, come home and we'll fix the marriage mess. Camille's resolve wavered under the emotional barrage. Mom, I love her. This isn't a phase, it's me. Evelyn left in tears, but not before whispering, you'll regret this when you're alone. The betrayal came from within their circle. A mutual friend, Sarah, who had seemed supportive, confided in Evelyn about their relationship details. Sarah's motive? Lingering jealousy over Caroline's success. When confronted, Sarah admitted, I thought I was helping. Families come first. Caroline was furious. How could she? We trusted her. The incident isolated them further, making them wary of opening up. Paranoia set in. Were colleagues whispering? Was every glance judgmental? Amid the turmoil, their romance deepened in private moments. A weekend escape to Cape Cod, walking hand in hand on windswept beaches, reaffirmed their bond. "No matter what, you're my anchor," Camille murmured as waves crashed. But high drama peaked at Thanksgiving. The Harringtons hosted a strained gathering, insisting on family unity. James was civil but tension simmered. Midway through dinner, Evelyn, invited by the Harringtons, dropped a bombshell. "I've spoken to a lawyer. If you continue this, Camille, we're cutting you from the will entirely." The table erupted. Caroline stood up. "This isn't about money, it's about love." James surprisingly defended them. "Mom, Dad, let them be. I've moved on." But the damage was done. Camille fled the room, Caroline following. In the guest bedroom, emotions boiled over. "Your family's toxic," Caroline said. "We don't need them." Camille snapped back. "Easy for you to say, yours is trying to reconcile." The fight escalated, old insecurities surfacing. Caroline accused Camille of lingering doubts. Camille called Caroline insensitive. They slept apart that night, the rift widening. Days turned to weeks of cold shoulders, separate routines. Camille buried herself in work, landing a big campaign for a women's empowerment brand. Caroline traveled for shoots, distancing herself. Reunion came via a heartfelt letter from James. "Sis Camille, I forgive you. Let's heal as a family." It prompted a tearful conversation. "I miss us," Caroline admitted over wine. "The drama's exhausting, but you're worth it." They sought therapy, unpacking layers of guilt and expectation. Sessions revealed Camille's internalized homophobia from her upbringing, Caroline's fear of abandonment. Slowly, empathy bridged the gaps. As winter blanketed the city, hope flickered. A surprise from Caroline, a custom photo book of their journey, melted Camille's heart. "From chaos to this," it read. They renewed vows privately in Central Park, rings exchanged under snowflakes. But external pressures persisted. A tabloid article fueled by leaked rumors sensationalized their story. Heiress ditches fiancé for his sister. Family feud ensues. Clients wavered again, testing their resilience. In a pivotal moment, Camille confronted her parents via video. "I choose happiness. If that means without you, so be it." Evelyn softened slightly. "We love you, but this. Give us time." The chapter closed with tentative peace. James started dating someone new, sharing laughs with them at brunches. Their love, forged in fire, emerged stronger, dramatic, emotional, but profoundly human. With spring's arrival, New York buzzed with renewal, but for Camille and Caroline it brought fresh storms. Their relationship, now public fodder, attracted unwanted attention. An online troll campaign sparked by the tabloid piece flooded their socials with hate. Disgusting family wreckers. Caroline's exhibit faced backlash, some galleries pulling her work. Camille's career hit a snag when a major client, influenced by the noise, canceled. "We can't afford the controversy," they said. Desperate, she freelanced late nights, stress lines etching her face. Caroline supported her, but the strain showed. "We'll get through this," she promised, though her own shoots dried up. The ultimate betrayal unfolded via Mia. Caroline's ex, jealous of their happiness, Mia contacted Evelyn with fabricated stories, claiming Caroline had a history of seducing taken women. Evelyn, grasping at straws, shared it with Robert and the Harringtons. A family intervention ensued, ambushing them at a neutral cafe. "You're being manipulated, Camille," Evelyn pleaded, flanked by parents from both sides. James Torn stayed silent. Caroline exploded. "This is lies." Mia's bitter. "Check the facts." But doubt seeded. Camille, exhausted, questioned everything. Is there truth to it? The fight that followed was cataclysmic. Back home, accusations flew. "You never told me about Mia fully," Camille yelled. Caroline retorted. "Because it's ancient history. You're letting them win." Doors slammed, silence reigned. Separation loomed. Caroline crashed with a friend. Camille wandered the city alone, reflecting on bridges over the East River. Memories flooded. First kisses, shared laughs, clashing with pain. Climax hit when Mia confronted Caroline at a photo shoot. "You stole her from a good life," Mia sneered. Caroline, recording discreetly, exposed the lies. "Admit it, you're fabricating this." Mia crumbled, confessing jealousy. Armed with evidence, Caroline rushed to Camille. "See? It's all bullshit. Tears flowed as they reconciled, bodies entwining in forgiveness. I almost lost you, Camille whispered. Empowered, they went public. A joint interview with a progressive magazine detailed their journey. Arranged marriage pressures coming out, family betrayals. Love isn't scripted, Camille said. The piece went viral, garnering support from LGBTQ communities. Donations poured in for their causes. Clients returned. Families relented slowly. Evelyn called, voice shaky. I was wrong. Can we talk? A tentative dinner followed, bridges mending. James hosted a barbecue, echoing their first meeting but now with acceptance. Their love peaked in romantic gestures. A surprise trip to San Francisco, where they hiked Muir Woods, vowing eternal commitment. Through drama and all, Caroline said, proposing informally with a ring. Yet realism tempered joy. Scars remained, trust issues, occasional arguments. But growth defined them. Therapy continued, boundaries set. Camille launched her firm. Caroline's art thrived. As summer approached, they volunteered at Pride. Hands linked, symbols of resilience. The world wasn't perfect, but their corner of it glowed with possibility. The resolution unfolded like a gentle American sunrise, warm and promising after turbulent nights. Camille and Caroline's story, once a whirlwind of conflict, settled into a rhythm of quiet strength. The magazine feature shifted public perception. Hate mail dwindled, replaced by letters of inspiration. You gave me courage to come out. One read, touching their hearts. Family healing progressed in fits and starts. Evelyn and Robert visited New York, awkward at first. Over brunch at a trendy spot, Evelyn admitted, I feared losing you, but seeing you happy, it's what matters. Hugs followed, tentative but genuine. The Harringtons followed suit, with James introducing his new girlfriend, easing old tensions. Betrayals faded into lessons. Mia apologized via email, seeking closure. They forgave, moving on. Sarah, the leaky friend, was cut out, teaching them discernment and trust. Their romance evolved into profound partnership. Daily life, grocery runs in Brooklyn markets, movie nights with popcorn fights, wove intimacy. Emotions ran deep. Anniversaries marked with handwritten poems, reflecting on journeys. A pivotal moment came during a cross-country road trip. Route 66 stretching before them like freedom. In the Grand Canyon at dawn, Caroline proposed properly, down on one knee. Marry me, Camille. Let's write our own ending. Tears streaming, Camille said yes, the canyon echoing their joy. The wedding was intimate, on a California beach at sunset. Friends, reconciled family, no pretenses. Vows spoke of overcoming odds. From forced paths to chosen love, you're my everything. Cheers erupted as they kissed, waves applauding. Post-honeymoon, they advocated for LGBTQ rights, speaking at events. Camille's firm specialized in inclusive designs. Caroline's photos documented stories of marginalized voices. Their home became a haven for others facing similar struggles. Dinners with young couples offering guidance. Challenges lingered, as in any life. A health scare for Robert brought them closer. Camille flying home to support. James's wedding invitation arrived, a full circle moment. They attended, dancing as family. In reflective evenings, they pondered the human cost. The drama shaped us, Caroline mused. Made our love unbreakable. Camille nodded. And showed that redemption's possible, even after betrayal. The ending wasn't fairy tale perfect but deeply human. Flawed people finding grace. As they aged gracefully in their adopted city, their story inspired generations, a testament to love's triumph over expectation. In America's melting pot, they embodied resilience, proving that true bonds forged in fire endure.